This world, this world is a broken place. Nothing is really working. There's a post that I shared on my Facebook wall. Someone asked why people are not having children. And a lot of people seem to not want to have children. Like, they gave good reasons for not wanting to have children. I was like, whoa, people are actually waking up. There were few people who were like, having children is good, it's the right thing to do. But many people in the comments were like, no. You know, the world is a broken place. You know, things are really expensive. You know, it's hard to get a job. There isn't enough resources. People do not have money. Everything is expensive. Like, people are able to see what is going on. I predict that 60 years from now, a lot of people won't be having children. A lot of people will be like, maybe it was not a good idea. Maybe it has never been a good idea to bring a child into this world. This world does not deserve our children. I would be lying to myself if I said it makes sense for me to bring a person that I love into a world like this. I'll be lying to myself. I shouldn't be so selfish that I do things that I want to do because I can. Sometimes I must think about the implications of what I'm doing. This world is nobody's friend. Things do happen. We cannot really protect our children. Humans go through a lot in this world. I know a lot of people who are completely broken, who don't know what to do, man. They're helpless. They don't know what to do. They've tried everything, but they're just broken. They've been through a lot, and it's not their fault. It's not their fault. Things are just not working in the world, you know, and we don't know what we're doing. We don't really know what we're doing. If this world was a car, it wouldn't qualify to be on the road. It won't qualify to be on the road. You try to fix a flat tire, find out that, the steering is not working. Like, oh shit. You fix the steering wheel, the brakes are not working. Like, what? You fix the brakes, there's another flat tire. If you realize that whenever we fix a problem, a new problem arises. Get rid of the apartheid government. Oh. All right. A lot of white people leave the country. Black people get into power and start making decisions, and things become worse. It's like we can never really fix the problems that we are dealing with in this world. They'll find new ways to emerge. Like, you can't really fix the problems that we have in this world. You can't. It seems like the world should have problems. So people are waking up, man. People can see that something isn't right. And that's a good thing. We mustn't be lying to ourselves. Everything is broken. The education system is broken. When I was working as a teacher, some of the teachers were saying, you know, this generation is the worst that we've heard. Like, they don't know anything. Like, we've been trying to teach them, but they don't know anything. They don't listen. And I, try to ask them some questions and realize that they don't know anything. Like, it's like they've never been to school. Like, everything is broken, man. At this point, it's only people who are naive who will be having children. That is why people who are educated are not having children, because if you are capable of thinking, even if you're not, thinking critically, but just capable of thinking, you realize that no, like, this world is not working. This world is not what I thought it was. We've been lied to. And it's not what we thought it was. I know people who are suffering just because they had children. If they didn't have children, they will actually, be in a better situation, because they will not be having children who are depending on them. And it's not selfish to not have children. Someone might say, no, it's selfish. You're not having children because you don't want to take care of someone else. Your parents took care of you. Sometimes life is not worth living. If I can say that things are not working out in the world, I shouldn't bring a new being into a world as if I'm obligated to. I must be able to say that no, if I bring a new being into a world, that being is going to suffer. They're going to live a life that's actually not worth living. It's not like being alive is always good, Sometimes people really do suffer, and they actually prefer to have never been born because of the amount of suffering that they had to endure. So it's actually better to not have children. When you look at the things that are happening in the world, it's actually better to not have children. Like, the smarter you are, the easier it will be for you to realize that. I understand that we've been conditioned to want to have children, to think that having children is the right thing to do. But things are so complicated in the world, and no one is sure how the future is going to be. Like, no one could have predicted this, right? No one in the 80s could have really predicted this. Like, things changed way too fast, and they didn't really change for the better, They didn't really change for the better. Because if they really did change for the better, people will actually be happy. They will be happier than we were back then, but we're not, you see. We're actually stressing. People are depressed. People don't want to be here anymore. You'll be surprised how many people actually do not want to be here anymore. It's just that it's not easy to talk about this stuff. It's not easy to say, hey, I don't think this is working. I don't like it here. This is stupid. Like, it's not easy to say that, because we've been conditioned to treat people who feel like that as if they are mentally ill, right? Like, you're mentally ill, that's why you're feeling like that. You should go and get help. Someone will tell us exactly how they feel, tell us the truth, like, yo, go get help, go get help. But really, the truth is that there are a lot of people who really feel that way. There are a lot of people who wish they were never born. There are a lot of people, if you ask them, hey man, would you actually want to reincarnate back here after dying? They'll say no, no way, no way. Like if you were to ask each and every person, you'd be surprised. Like a lot of people would say they wouldn't want to reincarnate back here. Like they've seen enough. They've seen enough. So a lot of people who are able to think for themselves are deciding not to have children. They are deciding to make their own decisions, to do things that actually make sense to them, other than having children, other than forcing a life into existence. It's not necessary. No one is forcing you to have children. So why have children? Even if you can see that things ain't really working, even if you cannot even predict the future. I mean, everyone is afraid that things are going to become worse. Everyone. It's not like people think that things are going to be better in the future. I haven't heard anyone saying that things will be better in the future. I haven't heard any person saying, hey, I think things are going to be better in the future. No, everyone is scared. Some people say, oh, the world is better with children in it. It might be better for you, but not for them, because they will have to deal with a lot. They will have to deal with a lot. The human animal is hardwired for survival. So even when it's dealing with a lot, it will try its best to be optimistic. It will try its best to continue to fight, even if it's not feeling good about this world. It will just continue to fight. That's why people are fighting, man. People are not really fighting because they really want to be here. People want to be free, man. People want to be free. Like nothing is really working, South Africa is supposed to be more developed than any other countries in Africa, but things are not working. Things are not working out here either. Alright guys, I need to change the ISO settings here. Things ain't really working out for young people, and it is not their fault. No, our parents blame us. They'll be like, hey, when I was your age, I had this and that. Like, dude, have you really been around? Have you looked around you? Have you seen what's happening? Our parents reproduced a lot. They brought many children into the world, and now there isn't enough resources. Now young people are forced to compete for resources, and no, that's not good. That's not good. That reduces the quality of life. You don't want to compete for resources. Ever grew up in a family where there wasn't enough food and you had to compete with your siblings for food? Like you had to fight with your siblings for food. That will reduce the quality of your life. Like that sucks. You don't want to fight for food. We can't even love one another anymore because we find ourselves fighting. I mean, people who compete for resources cannot love one another. People love one another when they are happy, when their stomachs are full. That's when they try to connect with one another. But when they're fighting for survival, trust me, they cannot really love one another. So you see, People are suffering. It's only humans that can save themselves, man. No one is coming to save us. We just need to make the right decisions for ourselves. You can't decide to have children even when you're not doing well in this world. You can't. If you decide to have children even when you're not doing well, you are saying you're okay with what's happening and you want your child to go through what you've went through or worse. How many people are actually enjoying their lives? How many people in the world do you think are enjoying their lives? I'm not talking about being able to, afford food and you think you're doing good. Like, no, it's not just about eating food. It's not just about having shelter. It's about being able to go out and have fun. It's about being able to be happy or to, I don't know. I had to change the ISO settings again. If you're an internationalist, you're ahead of your time, man. You're ahead of your time. You were able to see what is going on now, and you were also able to predict what's going to happen in the future. People like Elon, when they say the biggest threat to humanity is population collapse, they're not lying. They're not lying. What they're lying about is that actually being a bad thing. That's what they're lying about. Like, population collapse is a bad thing. People should actually have children. Like, no. If things ain't working out in their lives, they shouldn't be having children. Because if things are not working out in their lives, then they cannot think that things are going to work out in their children's life. If things are not working out in your life, chances are things ain't going to work out for your children. So if you love your children, you just decide not to have them. Protect them from the world by not having them, because once you have them, you cannot really protect them. You see, once you have them, the world owns them. You see the problem? Once you have children, the world is going to own them. And you know that this world is sick. You know that this world is controlled by very sick people. So your children will be controlled. Doesn't matter if they want to be controlled, they will be controlled. So why don't you save your children from this world by not having them? Doesn't deserve your children, man. It doesn't deserve people that you love. Can you imagine if after dying you were still able to see what's going on here and you see your children suffering? How would you feel? You see your grandchildren suffering, how would you feel? Will you feel happy? Will you feel proud? Like, yo, look at that kid that's suffering there. That kid has my genes. Like, nah. You'll feel sorry for the child and wish that you have not had any children. Because there's nothing to gain in the end. You see, what keeps us going is our fears. We're afraid, and we don't want to feel pain. Because if you do nothing, you're going to feel pain. If you don't work hard, you're going to feel pain. You don't want to be in a bad situation, so you just keep doing things. I understand how evil How evil life is. You're tortured for not doing things, so you must keep on doing things. Your own DNA will torture you. Everything that's of this world is actually sick, man. Everything of this world is sick. And unless you open your eyes and see things as they really are and stop making poor decisions, hey, you're going to contribute to suffering unnecessarily. What I encourage people to do is try their best to, find themselves in better situations, because, well, that's the best thing to do, right? Try your best to find yourself in a better situation, but no matter what happens, don't make the mistake of having a child. Never ever make that mistake. No matter how drunk you get, you shouldn't have unprotected sex. You should be extra careful not to bring another sentient being in this world, because things do happen. As a guy, if you knock somebody up, what happens? They're the ones that will decide whether they want the child or not. Like women get to decide if they want the child or not. It's not you. If you say, well, abort, you can give them money to abort. If they don't want to abort, they won't. So you will have a child, right? And even if you don't take care of the child, you know that that's your child. You're the one who brought them into a world, and they're suffering because of you. You see? Optimism leads to more suffering, man. Optimism leads to more suffering. If you see that things are not working, you should be honest with yourself. If you want to be strong and you want to continue to fight, that's good. But don't bring more people to fight. You see? You can see that it seems like this is a losing game, right? So you can't just bring your children to lose. It's not like there's anything that they can do. We can encourage young people to chase their dreams. We can tell them that they can be anything they want to be in this world, but we know that that is not true. We know that that's not how the world works. We know that there's many people in the world, and that's part of the problem. Part of the problem is that there's too many people in the world. When there's too many people in the world, things don't work as they should. There's not going to be enough resources. So people are going to find themselves suffering because they're fighting for the resources that are available, and fighting for resources really does reduce the quality of life, man. I'm glad, man, young people are waking up. They might not know about antinatalism because YouTube is not just going to promote videos about antinatalism, It's not just going to produce, not going to, like, there isn't a video that I've seen on antinatalism that has 1 million views. I mean, unless it was a video against antinatalism, or it was made by like a very big channel. So a lot of people don't know about antinatalism. We still live in a society where people believe they must have children, where people are being forced to have children. They're told that that's the right thing to do. God wants them to have children, especially people who are religious. I think it will get to a point where it's only people who are religious who will be having children. And what's scary is that people who are religious also believe in hell, like people who are Christians, Jews. I think Jews believe in hell as well. Like people who believe in Abrahamic religions believe in hell. So it'll just be people who are like very religious and who believe in the Abrahamic religion, to be specific, because I think they're the ones who really believe they must be having children. They're the ones who, if they come across a video of someone saying we shouldn't be having children, they're the ones who actually become angry. They'll say that you were sent by the devil. It's crazy that they believe in hell and they think that having children is a good idea. It shows you what we're dealing with, the level of ignorance. Like people are ignorant. It's funny, man. But things are hard in the world right now, man. Things are hard. Even if you live in a first world country, that's why some people who live in America are saying, hey, I want to move to another country. People live in the UK and they want to move to another country. Some people live in Finland, they want to move to another country. Some people live in Canada, they want to move to another. Things are messed up everywhere. People live in South Africa, they want to move to another country. But some people are coming to South Africa. They think things are better here. I mean, yes, things ain't that bad compared to other countries, but they seem to be coming worse. It's not like things are improving in our country. Load shedding started around 2007, but it wasn't that bad, so no one thought it was going to be a problem. And then 2014, 2015, 2016, that's when it became a serious problem. And then it started again around 2018, 2019, 2020, and yeah, now it's a serious problem. The water crisis, serious problem. Even in big cities, even in Johannesburg, people are complaining about water. Young people are complaining about unemployment. The quality of education is trash too. Like, you talk to a lot of people who are educated, they know nothing. Like, what were you learning? You spent like 20 years of your life learning what? What have you learned? Like, what is it that you know that is special? Like, what kind of, like, do you have some special knowledge? Or you just like a person who's never went to school? You know nothing. You won't be able to survive without employment. So people just need to think for themselves and try to save themselves, man, because no one is going to save you. If you do not save yourself, that's on you, because no one is going to save you. If you're an internationalist, if you have made a decision not to bring children into the world, I don't think you should care about what other people are doing. You have done the right thing, and you should feel proud of yourself. Some people are just too ignorant to make good decisions. But if you make the right decision, then you should be proud of yourself. You shouldn't be mad that other people are still ignorant, because there's nothing that you can do anyway. So just be happy about your own decision. You made the right decision. A lot of people are going to see that in the future, because it's not like the people who are in power care about us. AI is going to replace us. You think they care about us? Like, you think they care? If they care about us, they'll make sure that we're doing well. They'll make sure everyone is doing well. These rich people will make sure that people have water, they have electricity. If they care about us, they don't. They care about themselves. Human beings are selfish like that. That's part of being a human. You're selfish. They don't care about us. We're nothing to them. We don't, like, there'll come a point where they don't need us. There will come a point where they don't actually need us. So they'll only say they care about us because they need us, but they'll stop needing us. They'll stop needing you. They'll stop needing your children. It's not like your children will be special enough to be needed by them. Human beings are like kind of the same, like when it comes to what they can do. Any person can drive a car if you teach them how to drive a car. Any person can become a teacher. Any person can work in an office. You know, like, everyone is replaceable. So imagine if AI becomes, because AI is already powerful right now. Like, AI is like can do things that humans cannot do now. Like, already AI can do things that human beings cannot do. So what do you think is gonna happen in the future? They'll be able to create synthetic humans who will replace us. Plus, we complain a lot. We complain a lot. So imagine synthetic humans that won't be complaining at all, and that will be 10 times more effective than we are. Already technology is replacing us. Already. That's why the unemployment rate is growing every year. Technology is replacing us. Is it? So if you still think that the future is bright for your children, you are the problem. Thank you all, guys.